Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Wray's Garage, where today I'm going to try and tune up the air conditioning in these two cars. Living in a hot, dry climate like Arizona, and in the month of June is when you really start to feel the pain of those 3-digit days, at least in Fahrenheit. I'll post Celsius throughout the video as it will become more and more relevant. And the trick here is going to be to go from a baseline, which I'll put up here. I'll put some video in now. To post recharge to see exactly just how frosty we can get the interior cabins of these two cars. I can tell you in the early going, the head start is with the Aston. It does seem to be pumping out a little bit cooler air right now than the Porsche. I am doing this as a maintenance exercise, and because I've never done it before and because I do not know exactly the status or best case of my AC. I do not at this time I'm not aware of any leaks, but I do know that over time refrigerant can escape the system, although I'm sure some of you would like to debate that. So we'll get that baseline up and then we'll see where we land. This in theory is a DIY operation. I'm using this AC Pro Ultra Synthetic R134A. This R134A gas is typically used from cars made in the 90s all the way up to 2016. After 2016, there is a new standard. I'll post that up here too. I did see that over at the store for some vehicles. This particular AC Pro I got because frankly, Chris Fixit used it. If it's good enough for him, it's definitely good enough for me. Max cold air, leak sealer, protects system, and extends the AC life. So we will pump this in. All of the instructions will say it's 3 easy instructions. We just need to find the low side line, connect this to it, and then add the gas, which this gas is made up of the R134A and then some kind of oil in order to keep the rubber seals lubricated in that system. So for those looking at the Aston, I'll tell you where your particular point is. For those looking at the Porsche, we'll show you where that one is, and everyone in between, you know, the high side line, the high pressure line, this won't fit on there. So if you're looking for yours and you want the low side one, look for the wider metal pipe, which will be the lower pressure line. The tighter, the smaller the pipe, the metal pipe, that will generally be your higher pressure line. So if you're not in either of these two cars, that may help you. Pretty straightforward exercise in terms of what you'll need for this. You'll need your refrigerant of choice. These fillers here, if you have one of these already, you can more or less attach them probably to any just basic replenishing canister. This does have a pressure gauge on it so you know where you stand. Rubber gloves, eye protection, and then I did have a thermometer here so I can scientifically assess, more so than placebo, whether or not this had any effect. Yep, here we go. So I do apologize, it is Steadicam time. So hopefully this isn't too wobbly for you. So here's the engine once you've opened the front of your Aston Martin V8 Vantage. Maybe others too, maybe a similar layout. See over here where the windshield fluid is? Follow this line around, tucks underneath this windshield fluid filler here. And then right behind there, that is your high pressure line. So don't worry about that. This in the US car or left-hand drive car is on the passenger side. If we go over here to the driver's side, right next to your slave cylinder for your brake system, right down there is the one we want to attach to. You can see the metal line there is thicker. So like I said, that's a bit of a tell. So I'm going to turn the engine on and we will start the recharge. So I'm just going to take this cap off. So when I've got the car started, I'm not messing around with dealing with this. So the cap is off. I'll be placing the new unit on there. And when you look down there, here, I'll see if I can show you. You'll see there's a little nipple, much like you'd find on a regular tire stem. Not terribly different at all. Okay, so we're recirculating. AC is on, going low, going max. So now we're ready here. There's the outside temperature. Now, because I have a Canadian car, I do have that, so it might be blowing on you a little bit. Because I have the Canadian car, I still have kilometers as my measurement and Celsius for my temperatures. Now, it will go read in miles per hour over there because that's a quick fix, but the ECU is programmed and I haven't taken that to get reprogrammed. Anyway, that's just a sidebar. So in here, we need to recirculate. Turned itself off. All right, let's go connect and recharge. So there is a safety or a non-tapping plastic useless piece, so don't try screwing this on harder until you've removed this if it's your first use. Okay, so we're good and tight on there. We're going to go connect. You should see that on the other camera down here. And we'll be looking at this gauge. I need to shake this up actually, make sure the oils and refrigerant are all nicely mixed. And then we're going to go in 10-15 second bursts. Okay, now we're at 30. You can see there, it's still floating around at that 28 level. So maybe that's where it's happy place. We'll just do one more pass. All right, so that's our story on the Aston. Let's go try on the Porsche side. All right, so our car's all running in there. The AC's on, recirculating, max. This is your low side line. Your high side line is here. Again, identified by the thin line here, hard line here, and the thick one here. So this is what we're going to charge. Coupler is on, showing like just over 30. Let's see if that's probably pretty full, but let's just give it a top up. Just over 30, let's put one more round in. Same again, so I'm going to assume this is kind of where this system's all tapped out. Let's go check those temps. So there it is in a nutshell. Now, I think the Aston might have been running pretty solid, but I think the Porsche made, what was that, 8 to 10 degrees of improvement. So definitely a good maintenance item. I don't think we identified any leaks, hopefully not. I do feel like we have completely got rid of all 20 ounces of fluid from here. So I'll be removing this, retaining this for future enterprises, which would lower the cost because then I just have to buy the gunk that's going in. Now, Aston Martin is 14 years old and the Porsche is 9 years old. So between the two, certainly I would say they're good for a recharge, especially knowing that the Porsche, which is an interesting dynamic, lived in a hot climate its whole life. So it lived in Texas and Arizona. Aston Martin, however, as I explained earlier, came from Canada, 10 years in Canada. So that may also tie into somewhat how come it's been able to retain that refrigerant. But maybe that's not scientific at all. You may know best. In either case, I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you are so inclined. Otherwise, have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Be memorable and be well. Bye now.